With just a week to go before IPL 2026, the Rajasthan Royals find themselves in a familiar spot, full of promise but short on certainty. Bias aside, because they're my favorite franchise. I'm pretty sure I thought it was obvious by now. I mean, I'm from there. So yeah. This is a squad carrying more questions than answers. Let's break it down, starting with their released players. So, the Royals from Rajasthan have gotten rid of Sanju Samson, Mahesh Theekshana, and Vanindu Hasaranga. The spin duo is not as much of a shock owing to their unreliable performances in 2025. The major blow for the team, however, is Sanju Samson. He's a proven leader who was cool as ice under pressure and a match winner, as we saw in the World Cup. So the double R's will definitely miss his presence. Now, let's go through the squad. Right. So let's have a look at their squad. For the batters, they've got Riyan Parag, the captain, Shubham Dubey, Vaibhav Suryavanshi, was really younger than me and I'm still in school, Donovan Ferreira, Luan Ray Pretorius, Ravi Singh, Aman Rao Perala, Shimron Hetmeyer, Yashasvi Jaiswal, and Dhruv Jurel. The key players for me in these bunch of players would be Yashasvi, obviously, Jurel, Parag, because they have been inconsistent in 2025, so it'll be interesting to see how they perform. Then we've got Vaibhav Suryavanshi, obviously, like I said, he's literally younger than me, but what a find he has been for the Royals. Really nice find. I think he can do really well this season. And then we've also got other youngsters like Luandre Pretorius and Aman Rao Perala. So it'll be nice to see them perform and hopefully get a chance in the team. All right. Now moving on to the all-rounders. We've got Yudhvir Singh Charak, Ravindra Jadeja, and Sam Curran. This is pretty self-explanatory. We have the experience in Ravindra Jadeja and the finishing touch by Sam Curran. Now, if you go to the bowlers, we have Jofra Archer, Tushar Deshpande, Kwenda Mafaka, Ravi Bishnoi, Sushant Mishra, Yashraj Punja, Vignesh Puttur, Pritesh Sharma, Adam Milne, Kuldeep Sen, Sandeep Sharma, and Andre Berger. As we can see, most of them have been quite expensive in 2025, particularly Archer, Tushar. These guys have been very expensive. They've gone for a lot of runs. I feel like the best bowlers we have right now is Sandeep Sharma because he can bowl really well at the death. Then we've got Kuldeep Sen. I feel like he's always been an X factor. He's come into random, really big, important games, and he's always bowled really well. So yeah, I feel he's a key X factor for us. Then we've got Andre Berger. He does go for a few runs sometimes, but he just gets wickets at the most important times, which is also a really important thing. Other than saving runs and keeping a good economy, taking wickets is also really important, which he can do. Then we've got Ravi Bishnoi. I feel he's a really good spinner. Sometimes he goes for runs. I feel like he's a bit of hit and miss, but when he performs, he bowls really, really well. And then we've got Adam Milne. So in case someone gets injured, he's a very good replacement. Then we've also got Vignesh Puttur, a very good young talent. I think he did well for MI as well. It's either 23 or 24, but I think I've seen Puttur do well for MI as well. So that experience in such a big franchise also helps a lot. Right. What are their strengths? I think one of their biggest strengths is the young batting firepower. RR's batting core, led by Yashasvi Jaiswal, Riyan Parag, and breakthrough star Vaibhav Suryavanshi. I'm saying it now and I'm saying it again. Bro is literally young. Anyway, this gives them serious scoring potential. Players like these can change games in a hurry when they click, and Rajasthan have got at least some explosive upside on paper. Another one of their strengths is their all round depth. So, as we all know, they are in a trade deal with the Chennai Super Kings and they've got Ravindra Jadeja and Sam Curran for Sanju Samson. So, those two options add a lot of flexibility with bat and ball, and it therefore also helps the team adapt to different match situations because, as we all know, this team has never had a proper all-rounder since a few years. Some of you might argue Ravichandran Ashwin can be considered as one. He does bat well, but I just don't think his strike rate meets the likes of Hardik Pandya or Sam Curran like we saw in the World Cup. Another strength, in my opinion, is the experience that Ravindra Jadeja brings to the side, and that sort of experience can be really beneficial when the team is in sort of a pressure moment or a pressure game. So that's another one of their strengths. Well, let's go to their weaknesses. They definitely have more of that than strengths, starting with their inexperienced middle order and squad. RR's middle order leans heavily on young and unproven performers, and critics say this could really hurt their consistency unless these players deliver quickly. Players like Dhruv Jurel, while they can finish well, have proven to be quite inconsistent. And with Hetty going to number 3, more on that later, this puts an added pressure on him. Now, as we go further down the lineup, we get to Jadeja. While the man has truckloads of experience, in my opinion, since 2023, he has not been frolicking with the bat. And as you know, in the modern game, every ball needs to go to the boundary or out of it. Yeah, bro, I'm not joking, bro. Like, India scored literally 250 plus in 2 games in a row. Bonkers. Moving on, one of their major weaknesses is their power play bowling. As we saw in the last season, their leakage of runs in the power play was the root cause of most of their losses last year. And if they don't do anything about it, it will continue to be the root cause of losses this year as well. Despite some promising names, the double R's haven't solved their new ball bowling problems from the previous season. Without a consistently penetrating power play attack, they risk letting their opponents get away early. Jofra Archer, in particular, has gone for many runs last season, and so even if the top guns at the front score freely, it might be difficult to defend even the best of scores, which I think will be the biggest test of the squad. Another weakness, while quite minor, is the captaincy and leadership. With Riyan Parag now captain, there's both hope and concern. He's talented, but there's a lot of worry about whether he's ready to lead such a young and fragile squad consistently over a full season. This inconsistency has been proven in 2025 both as a batter and a captain. Without a calm presence like Sanju Samson, Riyan might find it very difficult to cope with the intense pressure of a tournament like the IPL, particularly for a full season this time around. I'd have rather appointed Jaddu as captain just because of the experience he brings to the fore. Just because there are many weaknesses doesn't mean there aren't any opportunities. One significant opportunity is for the youth of the squad to break out. If Ara's younger batters like Suryavanshi or Dhruv Jurel take the next step this season, Rajasthan could suddenly become a lot harder to beat, turning volatility into strength. If they take advantage of the power play, they can get to massive totals, therefore putting less pressure on the new ball bowlers. Now, I also think that another opportunity is for the greater experience to pull through. Now, while I know that the release of Sanju Samson was quite controversial because he was a grounding presence on the field both as a captain and a keeper batsman and was obviously a proven match winner. But I feel this is quickly overcome because now we have Jadeja. And like I said before, he has struck loads of experience, which is really beneficial for any franchise in the IPL. We've seen that so many times before. And so that's another big opportunity for the Rajasthan Royals. Now, let's look at some of the threats that this team might face. Immediately, we can think of the lack of experience in crunch moments that can really hurt the side. So, as we know it, IPL is often won by teams who handle pressure the best. And without seasoned anchors, except Sir Jadeja, and without a consistently reliable bowling plan in the power play, RR could fold in tight games. Another factor that other teams can exploit is that Rajasthan look like a form dependent squad. If a few key batters don't fire, there's not much buffer in the lineup. That's a genuine threat when they compete against the more balanced teams. So let's say, for instance, the top three fail to get going. Then you're left with Dhruv Jurel and Riyan Parag, who haven't been the most consistent, and therefore this adds more pressure on Sam Curran and Jadeja to finish well at the death. And I think another tournament defining threat of theirs is their bench strength. A lack of a good bench and squad of players mean that if there's a plague of injuries, it becomes really difficult to replace them, particularly in such a physically and mentally draining tournament like the IPL. Now, don't get me wrong, the squad definitely has a bunch of young talents with the likes of Luandre Pretorius, as well as bowling talent like Vignesh Puthur or Quena Mafaka. But I just think that this tournament is so grueling that it's often difficult to trust these youngsters and put them in the 11 when there are injuries. Now, let's have a look at what their probable lineup should look like. Now, just a reminder, this is purely based on my opinion, so if you have differing thoughts or suggestions, please let me know down in the comments. All right, now we will start with the openers. Now, it's obvious that it's going to be Yashasvi Jaiswal and Vaibhav Suryavanshi. In the past season, they've given us good starts in the power play, so it's obvious that this is going to be the opening combination that they go with. Now, at number three, it's actually quite a bit of change from last year. I think Shimron Hetmar has to go at number three. We've seen how well he did in the World Cup for West Indies. I think he scored a couple half centuries, and so that automatically puts him at number three, and I think he deserves to play there. All right, and then we go to number four, where we've got Riyan Parag. Yes, he wasn't consistent last year. He somewhat did well in 2024 at number three. I think he's the captain as well, so he definitely retains the position. And then you can kind of see gaps in the middle order because then you've got Dhruv Jurel, quite inconsistent, can finish well, so it'll be interesting to see how he does. But then we have Donovan Ferreira. He has done well for South Africa. It's been Bumrah for a couple of six. I mean, that's quite admirable. But yeah, he's kind of a hit and miss. Sometimes he performs, sometimes he doesn't, and that sort of hit and miss could really harm the team on certain occasions. But we'll see how he goes. And then we've got Jadeja with the experience, Karan with the finishing touch. And then we get to the bowlers, pretty self explanatory. Ravi Bishnoi, Jofra Archer has gone for runs. So, yeah, that might be an issue. But then Sandeep Sharma, really good death bowler. I think Ravi Bishnoi, same with him. He's a hit and miss. Sometimes he performs. But when he does perform, he bowls really well. And that can really help the side. And then for the impact subs, we've got Adam Mill, who can be an impact player if there are injuries. So I was thinking Nandre Berger would come in place of Donovan Ferreira. So sometimes if they want to change, they can also bring him Adam Mill because he can be a really good backup. So I think the first two impact subs will be Adam Mill, Nandre Berger. All right, then you've got Vignesh Puthur. He's a really good, promising talent, and so I think he can fit in if a backup is required. And then you've got Kuldeep Sen, who, like I said before, he's an X factor for our side, and that X factor is sometimes beneficial when things are not going away. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see him bowl. And the bowl first lineup is likely to be exactly the same. It's just that Ravi Bishnoi replaces Donovan Ferreira, and then Donovan Ferreira comes back in the second innings. But then they can also bring the likes of Shubham Dubey or Luandre Pretorius based on their situation. Another external factor I feel is the second home ground in Guwahati. The wicket is quite slow. The squad has been inconsistent in that ground. I know it's a small factor, but cricket has quite small margins, and so a small factor like this can make the difference between qualifying for the playoffs and staying out of it. And that is it, folks. I wish you all the very best for the upcoming Tata IPL season. Let me know who do you think has the best squad and therefore the best chance at clinching the title. And I will see you in the next squad review.